Right, so we have got our books ordered, and we want to make a form for it. And if this was missed in the other video, I've got a relationship here with the books order to the order ID. Just means that when some changes are made in here, it will pick up that the changes should kind of be linked to the other tables, and the data should show. Because effectively, like this shipped tick box there, hopefully will tick once I tick it in here is also showed up as ticked in there, so I don't have multiple bits of confusing, which we will find out. Anyway, okay, so we're going to create a form wizard. So realistically, the first part of the form is establishing the order with the customer, and then there's actually then the purchase with the order. So conveniently, we had a query that was the order form that had the order ID, customer ID, first name, last name, address, suburb, postcode, the shipped date, and whether it's shipped or not. I'm going to leave that in the second part because I kind of want to group all that type of stuff together. Then I'll go back to the this table here, which is the book orders, and then chuck in the purchase ID, book ID, title, number in stock, quantity that was ordered, order date, whether it was shipped, ship date, and stock deducted. Next, it wants to split them, which is exactly what you want. And then I'll just give this a name, so I'll call this book orders book orders purchases subform. Right. So you're going to end up with something like this. I'll just quickly tidy this up to a certain extent and do minimal talk around what it is, and then we'll get on to the update query with the nice and fun double if statements. So let's have a look in our view here. We can shrink that and shrink a few things up just to help things try and fit in as best they can. And if they don't want to, we will just do the layout view and stretch a bit more. Right, something like that. And I imagine this title field might be an issue, and same with this one. That's just for them. Right, okay. So effectively what we should be see is if I go to record 3, I know that that customer order has 2 books purchased in it, and we get that. And so basically when we've gone through here and we're processing our orders and collecting the stock up and we're boxing it, we're about to ship it, we can go tick tick on there. The ship date hopefully should just automatically update to the day's date where I'm editing it. And then I'll have a button here which I'm going to build in that uses the update queries that we're about to make, and then it will actually deduct the stock from the actual database and then actually tick to say yes, that has all been done. Because essentially if I've ticked it to say it's shipped, this is left unticked, which I'm half on like, should I hide that or not? But we will assume that we've trained our employees not to be boneheads. Plus you do stock takes for these very reasons, that and theft. And so to then have this all ticked and all worked through. So anyway, that's that. That was exciting. So what we're going to do is create these queries. So we're going to create query design. Now we're basically wanting to update the stock, and the stock is found in the actual, just the books table, what would be your products table. And we want to update number in stock. So I'll change it to an update query, and in this update to, we're going to update to based off what we built. So you can stretch this here if you need to. So I'm going to go functions, built-in functions, program flow, if what. So first of all we have like it's called an expression here, but basically what it means is a kind of some kind of condition you're going to test. So you would say something like, if you were going out shopping and you were looking to buy a phone and you didn't want to spend more than $100, you would say if phone is greater than $100, the true part would be don't buy. If not, so it was less than $100, you could say consider purchase. So it's in real world sense, it means this. I mean, we can spit word answers in here, or strings, or text, whatever, or numbers, anything. So the first thing I want to check, logically speaking, is if we go into our database, and when I'm doing this, I click as much as I can and type as little as possible, because it stops me mistyping in a table or field I'm supposed to refer to, and so it reduces my possible errors. I can still make them though, of course, but it just reduces the amount that I can make. So from the book orders, if I say if the shipped button for whether it's been ticked or not has not, so it'll be no, which is also known as like yes for ticked, no for not ticked, or on, off, and like 1, 0. But I'll go with no because it's probably used. If this is ticked as no, what do we want to do with the number in stock? We want to basically say keep it the same. So I need to put a value in there. I can't just say plus 0 because it'll just throw it out, or plus 1, or so I'll just say put the answer in that it's the number of stock, because what I'm going to do is this update query, it manually rewrites all the answers in everywhere over the top of all the existing records. So if I say just write in the same answer again, that'll be okay. Now this other thing is, if it is ticked, I need to know two things. I need to know if it's ticked, was the stock updated ticked? Because if we've already deducted that stock because it was shipped and we updated the stock already, we don't want to re-deduct the stock, and suddenly we're just going to minus off all our stock in no time, and it's going to be completely useless. So I have to go built-in functions, program flow, if what? If, and I said I need to say if stock deducted is equal to yes, so it has been deducted, then I want it to equal the same thing again, which is the book's number in stock. However, if it hasn't been deducted, but the was ticked here, so we're wanting to now deduct the stock here, we want to say equals the number in stock minus, go to the book orders, and we will say, where are you, quantity. So the number in stock minus the quantity. So essentially if they ordered 5 of that book and there was 20 in there, we should end up with 15. Okay. So currently if I run it, it won't actually deduct any stock because there's nothing ticked as shipped. So if I go run, books ordered shipped. Right, this is where it has, because it's got this parameter value, I've actually entered, it hasn't said I've got a syntax error, which means I've kind of mistyped a mistake in terms of my code. My code is fine. My issue is they can't figure the connection here because there's no relationship, because there's no other tables in this query. So show table, and I might have to put in the orders. And the book totals, and then the purchases, because now we can see all those tables are connected. So hopefully now when I run it, it doesn't have a spaz. Aha, there we go. So it can now say from this, don't do it just yet, it can say from this books table that you wanted to update, I can see that the number in stock, which is connected to these book orders, is also connected to the purchases. I probably could have not had the orders in and it would have been fine looking at that, because it's made a connection from the book there, the quantity to here, to the quantity that I took out from this one here. So this is probably not needed, but it doesn't seem to be hurting having in there, so why mess with it if it ain't broke? I don't think. We'll see. Right, it's about to update 16 rows. So let's quickly just go look at our books and our book orders. Right, so let's pre-do something. So if I'm looking at, I want to do the first 4 because these are 1, 2, and this is kind of grouped together. Then we've got after, catching fire, a brief moment in history, and broken soup. And let's have a look at the quantity that they order. So they order 1, so that should go down to 93, 26, and this should go down to 29 and 37. So 93. Let's just tick 1 to make life easier for ourselves, eh? Refresh. It's ticked. It should know that from the query because I've refreshed it. So now we'll finally go run. Yes. Amazing. So if I go to books now, what was this one I was checking? It was this one here, broken soup. So if I go to books and I go to find the broken soup, which if I just sort alphabetically will make it a lot easier to find it. Broken soup. 93 in stock. Amazing. I don't know if I refresh this, will this number in stock update? No, because it was the number in stock at the time. So that one's going to stay like that. That's fine. That's not an issue. Because at the time when I was searching for it, that's how much was in there. These, once they're shipped, you kind of you don't really look at them again. So the idea is hopefully this table should be the last one you want to go to. Right, so that's cool. So we know that's working. The issue is if I rerun this query, my book stock here will then go from 93 to 92 and I'll keep deducting, and I don't want that. So I could just tick this manually, but you've got to trust that I'm going to tick it religiously every time, once this is done and I've pressed it, then I tick that, and it's asking for someone to make a mistake. So we will create, so I'll close this, I'm going to say yes, and I'll call this stock. Book stock updater. Okay. And then I'm going to create another query. And I'm actually just wanting to work from the book orders because I'm wanting to update stock deducted. And this is going to be a very straightforward query because what I wanted to say, build program flow if, and we'll zoom this in for you, if in this table that we're currently working in, if shipped is equal to no, then we want this stock deducted to be no. But if it has been shipped, we want to then update it to yes, to tick it for us. The idea is that this query will only run after the query we made before has been run. So in that button that we're going to make, it will say run this update query, then run the other one. So effectively, if we look at our books ordered, we've got this ticked, that one not, nothing else is ticked. Oops, wrong one. So what we're going to do is we want to say here then, let's go run it. Run. It's about to update 16 rows, but it only updated the one. Now, just to test it for, entertainment value, if we were to run it again, is it going to untick and stuff things up? No, because we don't want it to suddenly say, oh, if this is ticked, then untick it, and then suddenly it never works consistently, saying it doesn't matter how many times you run it, the answer will be the answer. So that's good. And this effectively should be today's date. We shipped it today. So fantastic. So now I can go like this. Oh, we've been so organized. We've shipped all these things. I've shipped down to order number 10, which I know is there now. Right, so we're going to say we've shipped all of these think that was number 10. Yeah. Okay, was that a double order? Right, we've just shipped all those. So then what I want to do is I'm going to build this query into this form. Yes, and I'm going to call this stock deducted tick box updater. That's a descriptive name, right? So I'm going to update book orders, this thing in here, design view, create button. In here I'm going to go miscellaneous, run query. I want to run the book stock updater. Next, text, I'm going to say deduct stock. Next, okay, deduct stock. Right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to build this event in here. And first of all, I'm going to refresh the current form and everything we're in. Reason being, the sales in that form, I just ticked that I had deducted some, like I had shipped some stock, and then I want to then run this. I then also want to run open query. I'm just going to go copy. Paste, yeah, okay, so I want to run something called not stock updater but text box updater, so they're running in that order. Then I'm wondering if I can run close, not database but close window. Oh, you're so helpful, Close window. Object type, I just want to close these, hopefully they kind of run and then don't open and show me the query, but so I'm going to say query and book stock updater, save prompt, no. So it should just run and just do it automatically, and then I'll just copy and paste, and then it should do that for the next one, which is the updater. Yes, and then I'll get it to refresh, which should be the books ordered now. It should have the updated ticks and everything all go nice in there. I'm going to save that and close. So those are poised to be ticked. We're in here. We're going to go. I've done some ordering and stuff. We can see it's the first one. Deduct stock. Yes, we're about to do stuff. Yes, we're about to do stuff. Okay. It closed my book orders form, but it ticked. It didn't do this one because this was still an edit. But once I get out of that, it'll be fine, because essentially if I hadn't done it that time and I was down here later on something, it would then tick it then. So it wouldn't really be a huge ordeal. Book orders form. I'd have to have a little look in here. Cancel. Why it's closing that form window. So let's just have a little nosy in here. Build event. Close window, query stock. I'm just going to tell it to open form. If in doubt, open the book orders form, and I'm going to say add action go to record in the book orders form. And probably not next, but go to last, previous, first. I'll just say last, because chances are it's going to be one of the last things you're in. You go save, close. So now if I run it, even though everything will be fine, yes, it's already run all these things. Let's open that form back up again because it asked me if I wanted to save the form. I could have maybe taken away one of the closed windows and played with that, but you've got your gist there. So it does everything that it should. So that's all hunky-dory. Because I should be able to kind of navigate through back to my ticks now, and they're all in there. And even that one that I missed before there is in now. And I should be seeing, because I've got these are the numbers that don't change. Did someone order a large quantity here? 10. So 85 should go down to 75. Let's go check that. And that was on the dust. The dust of 100 dogs, 75. So it's all working perfectly, which is exactly what we want. Perfection. Last thing is to do a good quality report that basically documents all our sales information and put them together and groups them by kind of month. But there you go.